So the question is, when there is a yartzite, the day of the year that we want to do different things, to say Kadish and to learn for the benefit of someone who passed away, and the day of the year that he passed away comes, and someone is doing Kadish for him. So what the person have to have in mind when he thinks about the person's name? We have, like, sometimes there is like Jewish name, non-Jewish name, and then there's like the parents, one parent, which parent, father and mother, both, family name. Okay, so first of all, there is a great difference between if it is the son that is doing it for his parents, or someone else that is doing it for this person passed away. Even though it might be that he's a relative, but he's not the son of the person who passed away. If we're talking about a case that it's the son that is doing it for his parents, so then he just have to think about his parents. He doesn't have to think like about the name so much, or to like whatever he's doing it for the like merit of his parents. That's like more automatic kind of a connection.
He can go to that place in his head.
It's already there. Like there is a connection there. Is the son. Fine. When it's not like that, many times the son, or there's no son, or there is a son but he doesn't know how to do it, or he doesn't want to do whatever it is.
Well, right now there's no minyan, so
and then they have like someone else that is doing it. Happens a lot, unfortunately. And then the question comes. So first of all, the name of the person. So if you have few names, it's possible to think about all the different names. Okay? If someone, it's too difficult for him to think about like different names in the same time, so the custom of the world is to use the Jewish name. Okay? If the person didn't use the Jewish name, and no one used the Jewish name for this person, so it really doesn't have so much meaning. Okay? I'm not saying that it doesn't have meaning for like on the past, whatever, like someone that he had like a grandparent that was like and he, all the time he did the things on for this grandparent in Jewish name, whatever. I'm not saying that it doesn't have meaning for that aspect, but I'm saying like everything have meaning even when you doing something without a name. You just think about the person. I'm doing it for this person merit. I don't know the person's name, but I know that he's there, whatever. Yeah, I see someone in the street that is suffering. I want to do something for him. I made it on the person without knowing his name. It's also good.
That guy I saw in the corner this afternoon.
Yeah, whatever. Everything have meaning, but I'm saying like for as a name of the person, there is like a name of a person, and there is like a name that is like a phone number. The phone number of the person is not like name. It's not like the channel of his neshama. The channel of the neshama is the name that the people are saying when they are referring to this person. The way that the person is identifying himself. Okay. So when there is a Jewish name but no one ever used it, and the person doesn't identify himself with this name, so it's almost doesn't have meaning. But yet the custom of the world usually is to use that name that is like the Jewish name of the person. Okay? So I would say to use both. Because this is the custom, but in the other hand, like the real name of the person is what people used to call him. That's the first thing. Now, after we have the private name of the person, first, second, whatever, name of the person, then the name of the parent. So that also, first of all, the same thing that I said about the person himself, also about his parents. But here we have also another thing of using the father, mother, or both. So many times you see in the world that the Ashkenazim are using the father name and the Sephardim are using the mother name. The custom of the Sephardim to use the mother's name is, there's a Zohar that is referring to that, and that follows the Zohar. In the Ashkenazim, lately I heard like people saying when the person is alive and you want to pray for his refuah, so then you use the mother's name. But if the person passed away, so then use the father's name for the yartzite. Okay, so I'm not sure where this split came from. I heard it like lately, not in the last few years, and I don't know. I don't know. I think that it was the father's name in the Ashkenaz world, and because they trust the tradition of the Zohar, and they also saw it in the Zohar, so they said, okay, for like when he's still alive, so to follow that tradition of the Zohar, to use the mother's name. Anyhow, the mother's name is more certain. Okay, even if you're talking about someone that you believe that his parents were very righteous and very loyal and so on and so forth, but that practically there's no like 100% of like who's the father. Okay, so the mother is more certain.
He could be adopted, right? But
whatever, but that's the reason, that is like the simple reason behind it, to say the mother name and not the father name.
To make sure you get the right phone number. There's no question you got the right phone number.
Yes, that's one way. But the father's name, the reason to use the father's name is because in the Torah you see that when we want to identify a certain person, we say Ben and we say the father's name, right? Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron, right? So that's the source to use the father's name. Now, after all of that, I have to say that my tradition from Yeshivat Betel is that the father and the mother's name is not that important anyhow. Okay, what's important is the name of the person, and that you have your intention for this specific person. So, for example, if you think about Abraham, so there's many Abraham in the world, right? Many.
Even Abraham Chaim, Abraham Yosef.
Whatever it is, but if you think about the name of the person, let's say Abraham, and you think about a certain specific person, you don't need to say over the in your mind the name of the parent. You already got that person in your meditation. That's enough. That's my tradition from Yeshivat Betel. And the source for that is obviously from the Arizal, in Shar Gilgulim. There's like many introductions that the Arizal told the Rabbi Chaim Vital to meditate on connecting himself to different neshamot, different souls of righteous people, and so on and so forth. But so there is saying the name of the person without saying the parent name. So Rabbi Chaim took that principle and he said also for when you say Kadish for someone. Okay, obviously it's not a negative. Like if you want to meditate about the parent's name, it's good, no problem. But also you can use the family name to be more specific in your meditation. So if, for example, many times people don't know like what is the parent name, so they have to say a parent name, so they say Ben Avraham or Ben Sarah. Yeah, it's a possible. I'm not saying it's a mistake.
But if you know it's Schneider, you can just say Schneider.
You can say that, you can think in your mind the family name, and that also works. Okay.
Last this point. Is, I guess, for all tefillah. What? Not just. This isn't really just for Kadish. This is for all tefillah.
Right. So that's about the name. Okay. Last point about that subject matter is what is recommended to do. Yeah. If somebody have like day of the year outside of someone, or is like someone that is he loves passed away and he wants to do something for someone that passed away. So what is the possibilities? Okay, so the regular, like the basic, is to say Kadish. Okay, so just about the Kadish, that should be a whole class for itself, the meaning of the Kadish and so on. But I'm just saying that when someone passed away, the custom of the world is to say for 11 months in the Ashkenaz world. My tradition from Yeshivat Betel is that everybody have to have like 12 months. Without exception, even though it says that like the wicked people get the judgment in 12 months, so the Ashkenaz people, they don't want to say that their parents were wicked, so they say only 11 months. Rabbi Chai says no. Say 12 months for everybody with no exceptions. First.
And if it's not needed, it goes for somebody else who needs it. It's all fine.
Yeah. Second thing, when the yartzite comes, there is different customs of saying like Motzei Shabbat, the whole week, before, after. Yeshivat Betel tradition, just the day of the yartzite. Arvit, Shacharit, Mincha, if you have like whatever in the middle, Musaf, whatever, it depends on there, but like just that day, that's it. Okay? Which Kadish? Just the last Kadish of every prayer. That's the Kadish Yatom. That's not every Kadish. You can say every Kadish, but like the Kadish that is designated for that purpose of elevating those souls is just the last Kadish of every prayer. Okay? So that's about Kadish. We can speak about Kadish in length in another time. But I want to give another possibilities. There is a strong tradition of reading Mishnayot for the person. Why? Because Mishnah is the same letters of Neshama. So when someone is saying the Mishnayot for the elevation of a person, so there is a quality that it gives some kind of merit to the Neshama. There is another tradition of Yehuda Ptaya, that's to do Tikkun Niftarim. That is like, I have a whole article about it in the website, that is basically gathering like 10 people that say together all of Sefer Tehillim, and every time between, like there's 5 books within the Sefer Tehillim, so every time between one book to another, so they stop, they say a prayer, they blow in Shofar, and they say over the names of the people that they're doing the Tikkun Niftarim for. There is many places that they doing that, they following the tradition of Rabbi Ptaya to the Tikkun Niftarim, and that's when you know that the person needs tikkun, someone that was not so religious in his life, so it's good to do that as well. Whenever, if in the yartzite, it's good in the yartzite, but it doesn't have to be in the yartzite. Okay, and the last thing that is very common is to have dedications on different things for the person, on the person's name. So that's, you can see also in, like, not only in the Jewish religious world, everybody does that. You know, and like you go to hospitals, you see like plaques of like names of people and so on and so forth all the time, university, whatever. So obviously the question is like, what gives the merit to the neshama of the person that passed away, right? You want to have a dedication, something that will be meaningful. So I'm not saying that universities and hospitals are not important. Everything is important, but if you want to, you're talking about something that is spiritual, right? So you want to give the person, specifically people that were not so religious, but even someone that was religious, but to give the connection of something that is more spiritual, Torah, it has obviously extra meaning. So that's the custom in the religious Jewish world, is to have dedications on Sefer Torah or different books. Some people that they have more money, so they have like a whole edition or for like that is named on a person's name of books, or to buy books that are already printed and to put like the name of the person, Leilu Nishmat, right? There's many books like that here around that have the like, this book is dedicated for this person and so on and so forth. So everything is depending in the abilities of the people that wants to make dedication. And the idea is that every time that people will open this book and read it, it will go to the merit of this person that passed away. So Bezrat Hashem will give all the neshamot that are in the world of the neshamot the peacefulness and the elevation, and to be able to connect to Hashem in higher levels and higher levels. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll go back to that subject matter in another time. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.